Okay, welcome everyone to our next interview series in the She Shakes the World interview series. I am Rachel Waite and I'm so delighted today to bring you the wonderful Jess Roper. Let me just briefly introduce you before she speaks to Jess. She is a 2 times English Kickboxing Champion, a second degree black belt, a hypnotherapist, and a public speaker. And do you know what? Despite growing up with drug addict and alcoholic parents, Jess has managed to overcome plenty of struggles in her very still young life. And she's overcome struggles in her life, losses in the ring to achieve amazing success. And her own dream was always to become a champion, to push herself so that she can help others. And she does that in so many ways. She works in primary schools across the country alongside Olympic and Paralympic level athletes. She helps to motivate children to get more active, to inspire them to dream big, to start small, and to never give up. Wow, Jess, what a powerful bio that you have. Thank you so much for being here. I would love for you to just briefly introduce yourself, Jess, and just tell us about your journey to becoming a champion. There must have been so many things, that you've alluded to in your bio that you've had to overcome in your young life to get to where you are so far. So just share part of that journey with us, because I'm sure some people listening will take a lot from what you have to share about that.
Thank you. Thank you, Rachel, for inviting me to be here. And I love the name She Shakes the World because that is what I'm ready to do. I want to help women all around the world shake their world to shake the world for other people. That becoming a champion is one of the things I talk about quite a lot.
Mm.
What does it mean? It means to fight and to overcome the struggle and to, I don't know, a lot of people in sport especially, you think the best in the world, but for me it was never about that. It was never about being the best against an opponent. It was about being the best that I could be.
Wow.
Push myself to the highest level that I could I go further? Perhaps, but I think I'm ready to retire from chasing champion status to champion others. I want to be the coach in their corner now. So I'm here today and any day, I'm encouraging other women to follow their passions, whatever that might be. And whether it's a physical activity, it might be martial arts. And that's a big part of what I do, making martial arts accessible for all. My mum didn't begin until she was 52 after a lifetime of drug addiction and alcohol. And if she can do it, you can do it too. And that's what I'm here today to say. You follow your own big dream. Start small, because you don't start by walking into that ring,
Mm.
and then never give up, because we all get setbacks. We all have
Yeah.
losses. And sometimes we just got to keep fighting. And
And
if it's worth fighting for, we can overcome the struggle.
yeah, I loved what you said about it was never for you. It was never about being the champion. It was never about winning. It was about, what did you say? It was about doing the best that you could do. And that's what it's about. And I love what you say about that. And I also I would love to ask you, you said about not giving up, and how have you dealt with those setbacks? How did you deal, maybe there are some women listening right now who do feel like giving up, who feel like they've had quite a bad deal in life and they're struggling and they just think, do you know what, I've had enough, and they just feel that life has dealt them a bad lot. How can you, what can you share in your journey to help them realize that actually to not give up? What have you had to overcome, and what words would you have to say to anyone who's listening who's felt like that?
Well, the key for me, and I think for many people listening, will be to find people that you connect with, communities, coaches. There's kind of this, every good coach has a coach, or it doesn't need to be a formal coach or a formal mentor,
Mm,
but people, someone who you can turn to. Don't be afraid to ask for help, and
yes.
don't feel like you need to keep struggling alone. There are people out there who are willing to help. And often when we're losing, when we're struggling, when we're in that negative space and our energy drops and we feel low, and if you think about all of the words that we use, it almost feels easier to kind of dig ourselves into a hole and bury our head in the sand. But actually, if you have the strength within you to ask someone to speak out about it, and they will feel it too. They will be able to guide you. So my example is my own coach, my own kickboxing coach. When I was losing physically in the ring, the losses, there was a point where I thought, maybe this just isn't for me. Maybe I'm just not cut out to fight. Maybe I just give up. It'll be easier.
Yeah.
And he pulled me aside and he said to me, Jess, you might not be a natural fighter or feel like a natural fighter right now, but you are a natural coach. You will persevere through these tough times and it will forever be part of your story. And I'm so glad he told me that, because it helped me dig deeper into my why, into why am I doing this? Yes, it's really, really tough right now. But that was about 5 years ago. And here I am today talking about it. And the memory fades. And I've had different struggles since, global pandemics and who knows what. We've all been through struggle and we will all go through struggle. But if you've got people around you who can help you so you don't feel so alone, and that's kind of a big part of what I want to provide, what I want to be part of for myself, because I can't do it alone.
No. Such powerful words, Jess. I'm sitting here listening and feeling into everything you say, and they're affecting. What you're saying is, it's resonating with me, and I'm sure it's resonating with lots of other people. And I love that. We don't have to struggle alone, and the bravest thing you can do is to reach out to someone and go, help. And there is, I don't know anyone out there who would go, sorry, no, I'm not going to help you. There's always someone who wants to help, who can be there. And if you're at that point where you've not got that strength within you right now to do it yourself, then find the strength to speak to someone and say, listen, this is where I'm at. And that speaking to that one person, that's what I'm feeling, could be like with you, could be just that one thing that starts that upward spiral rather than that downward spiral that we can all find ourselves in. We've all been there. I've been there thinking, should I really be doing this? Questioning myself, questioning my worth. Am I worth it? And I'm sure, lots of women have similar thoughts. And just taking that one action, sometimes reaching out to someone is that one thing that just sets you on that trajectory and sets you on that upward spiral. And it sounds like that's what you received, and that's what you want to now, as far as I can tell, do for others as well. And I think you're going to be a powerful force for women who to lean into, for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's important. So we do need to take responsibility for ourselves. People can't save us. I think I've been there before. I've been trying, and in the online world and in business is tough. It's hard to work out who you are and what you're doing. And and I'm guessing the people listening, they will know that they've got value to offer. They will know that they've got services that people can benefit from. They're good at what they do. But they might have the doubt. We all have that voice as well, those little mind monsters, imposter syndrome, whatever you want to call it, that chips in. So you know what you're doing, and then, but you're not actually good enough. But if you buy another course, that person can help you. And we seek to find the person to save us.
Yeah.
It's all within you. It is all within us. We have the capability. We are good enough as we are.
Yeah.
But we can also ask for help, especially if we're struggling. So not as a savior, but as a guide, as a coach, as somebody in our corner.
Yeah.
But we still have to go out there and do the work too.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there, Jess. I think it has to, for me, it was very much about suddenly having that moment where, okay, I'm not where I want to be right now. I'm not happy where my life is. And if I'm forever looking around and just going, I'm waiting for someone to sort me out, I also recognize that wasn't the way that was. And if any change that had to come from within me. But at that, like you said, at that same time, I then welcomed in people into my world to be able to uplift me and guide me and support me through that. But the desire to want to change had to come from within.
Yes. Yeah. And accepting that vulnerability. So associating yourself, connecting with people who are perhaps further along the journey than you are.
Yeah.
admire them, respect them, and think. And this is where that little voice inside your head that I'm not good enough might think, oh, I'm not as good as them, but
Yeah.
you want to get there. So going back
Yeah.
to my coach, I saw him become a champion, and I thought, I wonder, it was that spark of desire. I wonder if I could do that. And that's
Yeah.
a really good question that anyone can ask themselves. Instead of being really like, I am going to do it, I must do it, take away the pressure and just become curious. What am I capable of? Where can I go with this? And begin to explore, engage your imagination, go back to
Yeah.
being a child and turn it into a game, because we're so critical of ourselves and we put so much pressure, and the world is so driven, the hustle. And yes, you have to go and do it and take action. But if it's aligned with what's in your heart and what you know deep within you, without that critical part of your brain telling you you're not good enough, and
Yeah.
the beliefs that are deep rooted in everything, you will be able to open yourselves up to the right people with the right energy.
Yeah.
And I'm not overly energetic, for want of a better word,
Oh,
the
I
kind of
can feel you are.
woo, but I'm
Yes.
beginning to open up to it. So through the, obviously being a fighter before, everything was do more, work harder. The
Mm.
answer is get fitter, get stronger, go do more hill sprints, keep pushing. Oh, you've got an injury, well, push through because you've got to be tough. And then I found hypnotherapy, and then I learned
Mm.
how to accept, how to follow our dreams, our passions, and
Yeah.
how to combine the two.
That's what I
Because
think is powerful. Actually, you combining those two things is a massive gift for the world, that you have both ways of being able to combine it, and I think that's fantastic. And I love how you said about being curious. Like you said, we can be so if we're too, I must do it like this, and or so negative, I can't do this, and they're doing that, and how are they doing that, and I could never see myself doing that. We're just blocking any options or any possibilities coming in. But like you said, once you can allow your mind to be curious and just think, I wonder what it would be like if that were to happen. I'm curious about it. Really, I feel a real openness inside and a real letting go of all that pressure, like you said. And then your mind will let you go there. Your mind will let you open up, and it will let you see the possibilities. And I love watching what you do, because we're in the same, we call it the high neck connect community, and I've seen you in there, and I love that you aren't afraid. And this is what I see in you. You're not afraid to talk to people who are beyond you, let's say in their career, who are further down in their, let's say in their business. But there's nothing in you that holds you back from reaching out to those people and talking to them and being inquisitive and asking questions. And I think lots of people can learn from that, rather than thinking, oh, that person, maybe they're earning more money than I am, or maybe they're more successful in their business. But you don't let that stop you.
no, I think tying it in with the being a champion, being a black belt, and the martial
Mm,
arts, the world that I've been in for over 10 years now, I know what it feels like to be a champion, to be a black belt. I know how hard I worked to get here. I know what it took, and I know the respect that I had for those above me.
yeah.
And go back 10 years, there's no way I would have approached people who I would think, oh no, they're above me, they won't want to speak to me, that I will be wasting their time, or all of these negative things. I cripplingly low self-esteem. And
Mm,
that's one of the things that kickboxing helped me transform, like by working through and progressing through that hard work, starting at the bottom, being a white belt, losing the fights, then persevering through those tough times and getting to success, for want of a better word. Success will be unique. It's not title belts, it's not money.
mm,
They don't buy, you can't buy happiness. Like that saying, money doesn't buy happiness. It helps, you do need money to live, and we do,
absolutely.
but you have to work within. So was I happy as a champion until I worked on myself? I was very proud of the accomplishment, but I still had this underlying, I'm not good enough, I need to do more. And that was where
Mm,
the lockdown took all of that away, and I had
wow.
to within. I went off on a tangent, but so you can apply that. And so now I know what it's like to be there in my martial art.
Yeah.
I can, so using Liz as an example, High Neck Connect, I can think of her as a black belt, and I know what it's like to be a black belt. And as a black belt, you want to raise white belts up to become black belts.
I
As a
love that.
champion, as a champion who wants to champion other women, I don't just want to be the best in the world. I want other women to overtake me. In fact, I want to
Mm,
retire from fighting the rest of my life. I want to encourage other women to go out there and win their own fights. So I know what it feels like. I'm not there yet in
mm,
business, but I don't doubt that I will
no,
be,
I have
especially
no
around,
doubt.
around the and being around the right people. So like that coach in my corner for the fights, then the coach is in my corner for the business. And together we really are stronger.
Yeah. I feel wow, Jess. That I don't know how or whether you realize how much potency your words have, and I can totally see you transforming so many people's lives. And I was going to ask you, so what is next, Jess? So what is, like you said, there will become a time when the kickboxing that will come to its natural in sense of you competing, that will come to its natural end. So what is next for you, and what would you like to say to others who are maybe also at a point where they're feeling like there's something next? Tell us a little bit about that.
I would say so if they feel like there's something next, let's
Yeah,
address that first.
sure.
Lean into your gut, your heart, your vision. So
Mm,
in hypnosis, I saw myself. So I'd already begun saying I want to speak on stages globally. And I have this idea of this health and well-being retreat in Thailand,
oh,
March the 23rd, 2025. The date is important because it's the date I flew home in 2015. Then in 2020, I started my business. It was in the January of 2020, setting our year goals and stuff. And I
mm,
was sort of thinking, what is my next step? What are my next steps? Perhaps I should open a gym. Perhaps I should do this. And I was struggling. And this is when I was 2020, I was set to fight for a British title, fight for a world title. Plus, I'd started a business thinking I'd be good at business, but knew nothing about. I'm a very good kickboxing coach, but there's a very big difference between being a good kickboxing coach as a hobby and earning a living from it.
mm,
Um, and then I realized I sat with someone in a networking meeting, completely random conversation. He goes, well, what do you want? Like, what do you want to be able to do? And I was like, I want to be able to travel again. So I went traveling in 2015 and then I came home and then I dedicated to kickboxing.
okay.
I knew I wanted to go back out, but then I had to make a decision. Do I go back out to Thailand and forego fighting, forego becoming a black belt, forego coaching the female only kickboxing? All of these opportunities were coming my way and they were too good to turn down. So I
Mm,
had to put traveling on the back burner. Then starting my own business as a champion, as a black belt, I was like, there's no point in tying myself into something that keeps me here. So I need to create a business that allows me to travel. Thailand, March the 23rd, 2025, because the goal has got to be time bound. And I had no idea how to do it. I
mm,
didn't work online at all. I had never used Zoom before, but I thought 5 years, business black belt. I can start at the beginning, I can be a white belt, and I will keep going. I won't give up, I'll work it out. Then a global pandemic hit and my whole world turned upside down. I lost my part-time income from the pub. I lost
mm,
my training. I lost everything. But it connected me with people online.
yes.
It connected me with hypnotherapy. I had no plans to do that. I was studying nutrition, but then I realized the behavior of eating is a big thing. And then I didn't realize that hypnotherapy was going to completely transform my life and allow me to heal from things that I'd hidden, I'd been fighting. So, my
Yeah.
childhood and my greatest fear was people finding out that I wasn't like them, that I grew up with my parents addicted to heroin. And
Mm,
that was as a child, as a teenager, I went to a good school. I had good friends. They'd went to violin lessons and ballet, and it was all very lovely. And I was terrified they'd find out that I
wow.
wasn't like them. So I decided, with the hypnotherapy, with the working on myself, I'm going to share my story with everybody.
Amazing.
And then they can't judge me. And
Mm,
luckily, nobody's turned around and gone, oh, that's terrible. We don't want to be associated with you. You're not good enough for us. But
yeah.
that's the story I was telling
Yeah.
myself.
And we all tell ourselves those stories, and I really appreciate you sharing that part of your story because I'm sure there are many others who want to remain hidden, who are scared of being, let's say, found out, and that often relates back to childhood and some form of trauma that we have been through. And you are a testament to others to go, you know what, you can work through that. It's nothing to be ashamed of, and actually opening up to it and owning it and healing from it is such a massive part of your journey and growth. And I think you having gone through that and healed from it and learnt from it has really helped you grow. And maybe the pandemic came at just the right time for you, because that was when it was your time to work on that. It gave you the opportunity to work on it, and it gave you the opportunity to grow in a way you didn't even know you were going to grow.
I really do believe that. And I know I don't want to take anything away from the pain people have gone through, the loss, the grief. And it is hard, it's tough. I'm not going to lie, I have struggled massively. My anxiety went absolutely through the roof at the end of 2020. I ran out of money, I ran out of savings. I hadn't felt like that since I was a teenager in a state of panic. So like, although I don't have panic attacks, because I used to think anxiety was panic attacks. So I thought, I don't suffer with anxiety, I don't have panic attacks. But then I went to see someone about a recurring shoulder pain, and she said, you don't know how to relax. So she had to teach me how to breathe and how to relax. So I spent my life, if you can see the video, clenched fist, clenched shoulders, everything so tense, never breathing, always speaking too fast. Actually, you can learn how to breathe, you can learn how to relax. And in society today, that is something we need to learn how to do, how to switch off and how to be. One of my favorite quotes, we are human beings, not human doings. By Kurt Vonnegut.
It's so true.
So going back round, I went off on a tangent, but that, how do people know what to do? Leaning into what you truly desire. And hypnosis helped me, because I saw myself, I saw that Thailand, but I also, the most important part of this, saw that I didn't have to be the one running everything. I was up a mountain, I'd climbed up the mountain, and I was allowing the event to unfold before me. And that was an awakening of, I'll have a team, I don't have to do it all, I don't have to be cooking the food, providing I will run it and coordinate it and facilitate it, but I will have people around me. So communities, your communities, Liz's communities, communities that I've connected with, they will come out and we will meet together in Thailand. And I still don't know the exact how, but
and we don't need to.
The pieces are coming together.
And I can feel your energy behind it, so I know it's happening, because I can feel your certainty about
that's the thing. And that was and so this comes on to my second part of answering that question. Sometimes you also have to let go of the other things. So when I knew I wanted to be a champion, I had to let go of Thailand for a bit. Part of me really wanted to go back out there and have fun, because it's great out there. But I had to lean into what my desire was then, what my purpose, my mission, all of these words. It was to become a champion, to put that bit of hard work in, to become the champion. Now, as a champion for the rest of my life, I can full circle back round to take us all out to Thailand, becoming champions together.
Exactly. I so see that. Everyone is champions in their own way. And that's
it means I have to then let go. And the bit that I'm working through at the moment, and it's hard to just, because it's hard to make this definite decision, and I don't want to commit to it on a podcast or video, but I don't, it's not a commitment, because somebody said to me, you can always change your mind. I think I have to stop fighting to focus on the things that really light me up now. And fighting doesn't do that anymore. I'm not that. So yes, I'm a kickboxing champion. Yes, it was my life. And yes, there's pressure. Oh, but you could beat her. Oh, but you could become a world champion. Oh, it won't be that difficult for you. I'm surrounded by Olympians. Their life is sport. But I want to speak on stages globally. I want to champion other people. I don't need any more title belts. I've done that. And that's no longer the thing. So it will be taking away from the thing that's in my heart. So whatever it is people thinking, whatever's in their heart, there will be other people saying, oh, but you should, like, say you're in a corporate career or you've worked your way up a ladder and you think, oh, I can't quit my job. I've got a really good salary and I've got stability. And, oh, but I know that I could help other women starting my own business. I know that I'm passionate about that. Oh, but I can't do that. I'm too far down that career.
Mm-hmm.
You can. I'm
Yeah.
not saying quit your job and go work it out financially, be sensible, but you can change direction at
Yeah.
any time. You
Yeah.
don't have to stay on the path just because you've already progressed far along it.
Jess, this is just, I don't, this is just so powerful. This is so many golden nuggets have come out of your mouth, come out of your soul, come out of your heart in this interview. And it's been so inspiring for me just to listen to you speak and facilitate this, what you needed to say almost. I have one last question for you that I want you to just think about. I want you to imagine for a moment, we're coming to the end of your life, and I would love to know, how have you, Jess Roper, how have you shook the world?
What a question. How have I shaken the world coming towards the end of my life? I have managed to create a way for women to connect and realize that they are enough. So, connecting with themselves and connecting with others, empowering them to take action towards whatever their desires are, but also because a big part of our health and well-being, a big part of what I do, yes, I'm empowering people and inspiring people to take action towards whatever it might be. It might be business driven. I'm not a business coach, but I do work in kickboxing, health and well-being. Everything starts with health. Our health is our wealth, and then the relationships that we have and who we're connected with. So providing a way for women to make themselves and their health their priority. Yes, we might feel like we need to look after our children first, or we might feel like we need to focus on the career, especially if we're career driven, sport driven women. And that is a big part of what I want to do as well, closing the gender gap in sport, in business, because I've been talking about it quite a bit recently.
Mm.
Quite masculine women I tend to be connected. I've always been quite a masculine woman, and like what I said at the beginning of this, oh, I'm not really very energetic, I'm very woo, it's all very feminine, and I'm like, but I'm embracing it. And
Yes.
I do believe that I want to empower integrated champions. So that's the
Oh.
2 word thing, if I can
Mm.
describe it. I was going to go with wholehearted high performance, because
Mm.
that's another way of people who want to achieve more, but you've got to be wholehearted. Credit to Brené Brown for everything she does with vulnerability and shame and everything, overcoming perfectionism. But if we can integrate our life, our business, our health, our passion, our families, everything into becoming a champion for whatever it is that we are passionate about. So that's how I want to shake the world.
Yes.
Integrated champions.
Brilliant. And I know you're already doing that, and I know that that is all manifesting, and I love those 2 word integrated champions. This has been so lovely, Jess. Thank you so much for coming on here and sharing really from your heart. And I know that this interview is going to touch so many people's lives, and I you know, if you're listening, I really want you to take that take the inspiration from Jess, from what she has shared today, and this idea of not giving up. Am I got that right? Not giving up on yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
and
giving
being
up on
the
yourself
champion in your own life.
and whatever it is you're championing. So perhaps you've got
Mm.
something beyond yourself, whatever charitable cause. A lot of people ask me, do I champion domestic violence? And not personally. Obviously, people do need to champion it, but it's
Mm.
not been something I have experienced. Whatever it is that you believe in, that's why together we're stronger. There'll be someone out here who does champion that.
Yeah.
Go out there and do it. For me,
Yeah.
it's getting women involved in martial arts. It's and by the end of my life, I also plan to help people overcome addiction and have services
Yes.
for teenagers whose parents are addicts, and because of my circumstances.
Yeah.
But don't give up on yourself. Put yourself first, even if you have something much bigger than you and you think everything else is more important than you.
Mm.
Then once you've looked after you and you've become strong, you can champion the causes around you and the things that you want to give out to the world.
Wonderful. Jess, this has been absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing your time and your energy. And I know we're going to be seeing lots more of you out there in the world. And I can't wait to see you on those world stages. And I can't wait to see you speaking and doing all the wonderful things that you are going to be doing, championing others. Thank you so much, Jess.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.